This is the Fly Moto 60 Show.
Presented by Maxxis Tires, Get Data, Decal Works, 100% Goggles, Vertex Pistons, Plum Creek Funding, Seat Concepts, and Zool.
On PulpMX.com, taking your calls and looking ahead to the races with your host, Steve Mathis.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Fly Racing Moto 60 Show, Thursday, February 1st. Where in the hell did January go? Thank you for watching and listening. Moto 60 Show. We're going to talk Detroit this weekend, kickoff for the 250 East series, of course. I want to still talk about the 450 series because that thing is heating up with my guests today, Zach Osborne and Daniel Blair. 702-586-7857 is the number to call in to talk to myself or one of our guests. Let's talk some Supercross. Lots to get into as well. NBC show this weekend, so 450 heats are first, and the 450 main is last as well. Thank you to the folks at Fly Racing for coming on board this show. Whether it is a Formula S helmet, whether it is their Evo line, they continue to innovate and elevate the game. I love some of the new Evo stuff. They've moved the BOA a little bit. They added some stretchy panels. Really, really great stuff. And, of course, the Formula S helmet. You've heard me talk about the Formula helmet for so long. Love it. Quiet. Lightweight, safe, all of that. The Rheon technology is next level. Thank you to the folks at Fly Racing for all that they do. And, of course, as well, I want to thank the other guys. Get, Maxxis, Decal Works, Plum Creek Funding, Seat Concepts, Zool's, Vertex, all on board with us. Maxxis as well, sorry. And, talking Detroit this weekend. It's round two of the round one of the 250 East Series, and then, of course, the 450 Series as well. Thank you to everybody for listening, man. Really appreciate it. Lots to get into tonight when it comes to what? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oh, yeah. So, taking your calls over there, holding things down in the corner, it is my pleasure to have this gentleman in. Tits, what's up?
For once, I get to be the fill-in guy.
Yeah.
The reliable one who's here and everything like that.
I forgot to turn the TV on.
Yeah.
So, I want to know we added the video aspect to this,
Yes.
right, with Marks.
Yes.
And then now, last week, you weren't in.
Correct.
And then this week, he's not in.
Correct.
But
You paid both of us for both shows.
I just want to...
We're actually going to start taking turns every week.
Yeah, this is... it's taken 3 weeks, and I'm getting screwed over on this deal. Yeah, absolutely. So that didn't really work out for me very well, right?
No. Bad business decision on your part.
No, absolutely.
We can revisit this at the outdoors.
I'm going to talk to HI about this.
Okay.
Or HR, sorry.
I'll look into the TV thing. You can keep doing your deal, okay?
Plug it back in.
Yes.
All right. Thanks to the folks at Get and Athena. Please use those guys. The ECUs, factory Honda uses, and, of course, the two-stroke stuff, the CDIs for what they're doing. It's crushing it, especially on the fuel-injected two-strokes. The Get guys are doing a great job. We can give you a discount from the folks at Get and Athena. Really, really easy by simply emailing us using the contact form on pulpmx.com. And, we will pass that on to the guys at Get and Athena, and they will give you a deal. Honda HRC, using the data loggers, using the whole shot devices, using the ECUs on the 250s, all of it. Thank you to the folks at Get and Athena for coming on board. Decal Works as well, PulpMX24, the code to save. Great guys down there at Decal Works. PulpMX24 code saves you. Red Bull KTM, factory Honda, factory Husqvarna off-road as well. Decal MX, man, they will make you happy with whatever you want to do for design-wise. So thanks to those guys. 702-586-7857. Give us a call. We have a few lines open still, and we're going to talk to Zach Osborne as well. And Daniel Blair, of course, 250 East Series kicking off. I'm going to talk more 250 East Series with DB when I get that chance. But, yeah, the Triple Crown, Cooper Webb taking the win without winning the any one of the mains is he's warming up, man. He's warming up. He's getting in there. AP holds onto the red plate. So lots to get into on the show today. And, of course, the East Series, Hayden Deegan coming off an injury. Got Faulkner. Mitch Payton told me he's never seen Faulkner riding this well. I don't know if that was just like, BS media stuff or if that's the truth from Payton. He's not really a guy to BS, so that could be true. So, man, maybe Faulkner wouldn't that be something? He won a couple years ago, and that was his first win in 3 or 4 years. And what if he's riding really well, right? And with Hayden being injured and not 100%, there's an opening there, I think, to do some damage. And, of course, Hymas as well. And Evan Ferry, Triumph, debut this weekend. not doing well with this, in case you're wondering. 702-586-7857. Let's get to our first guest of the show on the Fly Racing Moto 60 show. It's Zach Osborne. What's up, Zacho?
Cruising, man. What about you?
I'm good, man. So you been riding, or what's going on?
No, I just actually went to Disney campground with my family for the last 2 days. Came home and literally just pulled in the driveway on my bicycle and took your call.
Love it.
Dude Pete called me. I don't know. Does he work there now?
Yeah, producer Pete's back on here. No marks. It's really weird. I pay them both, but only one shows up. It's really weird.
Never heard of him.
Okay. Hey, listen. Let's get into this a little bit. So,
wait.
What? Okay.
This is the Matt Sansky train.
Oh,
Board now.
Oh no. Oh no. You too?
Is there others? But I'm like the Lewis of the Sextonship. I'm the captain of this train.
There's so much Ansty hype. It's ridiculous. Like JB, Phil, Dean, Lewis, you. It's insane. It's nuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, Max is going to do really well, and he doesn't really even have to beat all the guys to do really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he doesn't have the expectations of Deegan or some of the other guys where, he's not on a factory team. His team's super solid, I think. But he doesn't have to go out there and win every race, for him to go out there, be on the podium, be solid, battle for wins is really, really good.
Yeah, there's some serious Ansty hype, and I can't wait to dive into this and see it. Hey, let's talk 450s for a second.
Okay.
So, I was a little worried about Eli Tomac, and he pulled off the win in the third main at the Triple Crown. And correct me if I'm wrong, are you with me in the fact that, you win one of those main events, you can win a real main event, right? That. It's
yeah.
It's the same kind of deal. Right. He pulled away. It was a great job. Do you think he's an all-timer, right? He's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
That has got to help, right? Even just to take one win for a guy coming back from his injury.
It doesn't matter how many times you've won or how many times you've been a champion. If you have an injury or you start a new season,
mm-hmm.
you always have that. Can I still do it?
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know his brain, but I'm pretty sure he probably had some of that. Everybody has it, and for me, the way that he won that last main was very
impressive.
Nostalgic by Tomac, right?
Yeah.
He was just away at the front, no real competition, and for me, he has this little whip thing that he does where he puts the front end down. It's not really like a big whip, but just kind of sideways, and he's just I don't know. It's like his thing, in my opinion.
It's like he's feeling it. He's feeling it.
Yeah. That's it. And he had that over the finish line a bunch of times. I saw, and I was like, yep, it's on.
Yeah, listen, that's got to feel good for him for sure. Coop wins. Doesn't win a main event, but who cares? The check still cashes, right, Zacho?
I think he was super solid too. It wasn't like he went 5-5-5 for a win. He was in the mix the whole time, every moto except for the last one, really.
But he knew he had it too. He was backing off. He knew he had it.
Right, exactly. You're playing points game at that point.
Yep. So it should be interesting. AP keeps the red plate. Sexton wins one. Anderson wins one. What did you make of Anderson's penalty? Certainly not his worst cutting the track off that he's ever done in his life, but it did cost him a podium. Yeah.
It cost him a podium. I kind of didn't think it was warranted, in my opinion. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably the best guy on the night, just from a speed perspective, and he was the only one popping those jumps, the 3-4-1 or 3-3-4-1 after the start,
mm-hmm.
and then the other three in. He was the only one that was doing it consistently before the on-off. So. He was, in my opinion, the best guy on the night, but just didn't take home the win or even a podium.
So 4 rounds down, who's your pick for this title?
Oh my gosh!
I know, but just give me what you who's got momentum? Who looks good? Who would you go with right now?
I mean, I could probably narrow it to 5.
No, Zacho, we don't do that on this show. We ask the hard questions.
For the title down the stretch, I'm still sticking with my original pick from the first show, which was Eli.
Okay.
But I think Coop's going to be really tough to beat, and I think Jason's going to win some races. I think this Detroit track favors Jason. In my opinion, it's the worst of the East Coast dirt that we have. I think it has a lot of potential to get super slick and hard. I've seen them loading it in this week, and it looks pretty spongy. But man, I've been there a couple times where it was like almost West Coast style hard packed bottom, So I think he's going to be really good this weekend again.
Well, from the dirt jerks that I've been texting with, it seems soft. It's not going to be Indy soft, but it's going to be soft. Yeah, so a little different from years past, maybe because of the earlier date that we're going in.
Yeah, maybe. I just remember there in 2017, it was like ice. It was like super hard and slick.
Right. Yeah, I think I was a little worried about Tomac, and now I'm good. Just winning that last one for me puts it at ease, and I'm like, okay, he's back. That'll give him confidence. Webb won. That'll give him confidence, and no one wants to, no one builds throughout a season like Cooper Webb, right?
Yeah.
So there's that, and then if AP and Sexton are on course, everything else, what would you – if you're in Jet Lawrence's camp, if you're Dazzy, the dad, if you're his best friend, he got booed. He got cheered when he crashed. He's got one podium in 4 races, not for a lack of speed. He could very easily pull off the win this weekend. But what do you tell him? If you're Lucas Myrtle, all of that, do you deal with the crowd off-track stuff, or do you not even bring it up? Put in a hard week of work, do your motos, and show up? Or do you address this? Because he's such a young kid. You got to wonder if the emotions are getting a hold of him.
Yeah, I personally, with how young he is, I think you leave it. Don't address it. Just go racing.
Okay.
But that's a tough position. He's going to eventually start to wonder, like, how do I win these fans back? He's just been the most popular guy in the sport since he kind of hit the ground or hit the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's got to be a big mental shift, right? To roll out there to booze instead of, everybody going nuts for you.
Mm-hmm.
But he's in a tough spot. Like I had said before, they got to kind of take the race to him, and I feel like they have been. He was really fast last weekend, but man, there were some risks that were like, I didn't really make sense in my mind. Like the second set of whoops, was it the second? Yeah, the second set of whoops.
Yep.
In that second main event, he was going down that right side of the whoops, and it was just like every time hairball. And
yeah, Sexton too. Sexton was trying that for a long time, and it bit him. Yep.
Yeah, I just, his game is getting starts, leading from the front, and managing a race, and he hasn't been able to do that. So he's going to have to learn a little bit the craft in the middle of not the middle of the pack, but the 3 to 5. It's not that simple racing those guys anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to learn to take some podiums here and there, and I still think he's going to be in this title fight down the stretch, but maybe some more learning to do before he's back to 100% or winning every weekend.
So you don't really address the booze and all that like that. I mean, look, everyone will move on.
I don't know Jet personally on a huge level. I mean, I've been around him some, but not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys in his camp would know better how he's going to react to those things, and whether he would like their opinion or whether he wouldn't like their opinion or whatever. So for me, I'm very analytical, and I would want to know how to fix it. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't care if anyone ever cheers him on again, But, yeah, I think that's more of a question for people who are very close to him and around him a lot, which I'm sure, he's not where he's at because of bad guidance. So I'm sure they have a plan and they'll get it figured out.
Yeah, look, you win some races, you say a couple things, and everyone forgets. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it is shocking. This turn has been shocking to see the guy,
has, especially in just one weekend, right? Like one sort of very small incident with a guy who's also had those same sort of moments, But that's just racing and being a star. It has happened to every great in sporting in sport, and I think this is no different. He doesn't have to come back from it. He's never left, but his reputation will rebound, in my opinion.
Did you get a little flack for the AC thing and all that?
Oh, which one? The
Indy.
Oh, that. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I had some.
Did you? Nothing like this, but
I don't know if I had any death threats. But I definitely had some threats, especially after the Joey thing too.
Oh yeah.
I had some threats, like
right,
beat your ass or whatever threats, but definitely caught some flack, and definitely have still see like comments today when people post some of those deals, like about what a piece of crap I am for doing that, or whatever. But
yeah,
I mean, 99.9999999% of fans have no idea what's truly on the line. I think there's a lot of people who are avid race fans and racers and riders and blah, 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 and Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else that think that they know money figures and they know what really is on the line for these guys, and they don't have a clue.
702-586-7857. We're giving away a pair of 100% goggles as well as a pair of Fly Zone goggles today on the show to random callers. Zach Osborne on the line. Thank you to folks at Maxxis Tires. The PRMX guys, Mad Parts Kawasaki guys, putting the Maxxis tires in the main events. Soft intermediate to hard tires are available now. They got a paddle now as well. So thanks to the folks at Maxxis Tires. Great mountain bike tires as well. Zacho on the line. So Zacho, back to 250s a little bit. Triumph making their debut. Jalek Swoll, Evan Ferry. You've been around the Triumph bike with Joey a lot. Is this bike going to be, I'm not saying the best bike, but is this bike going to be competitive right out of the box for these guys?
I think they're close. I think they're going to be really close. I don't think that the bike's going to be much of a holdup. I don't think that it changes the result of the guys that they have, if they're on something else. So in my opinion, that's a yes. I think it's competitive. Straight out of the gate, they have smart people there that know how to get things done. So I don't see the bike being an issue.
I do like with Evan and Jalek. Jalek's, a good rider. He's not a championship contender in my mind, but he's certainly a top 10, 5-ish guy. And Evan is getting his feet wet. Not a lot of expectations for the rookie on his end. But I think that was by design because of a new bike, new team. Let's go race and get our feet wet, right? I mean, certainly they have the money to have signed someone else. I mean, Joey's going to race motocross. But I liked what they're doing. They're just, no one's going to be like, the bike sucks because look, Jalek got an 8th. I mean, Jalek would get an 8 on a factory Honda sometimes, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's metered from both sides. And I think that that's probably a good thing. But I think as they start to get some results this year and kind of show off the professional side of the team and the commitment that they have, I think that, better, faster, more seasoned guys will come, and it'll be successful in the long run.
All right, Cameron's on too. He does have a Triumph question, so let's get right to him. Cameron, what's up? Welcome to the Fly Racing Moto 60 Show. What's your question?
Hey, perfectly portioned guy.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Yeah.
How are y'all today?
Good.
Great.
I was going to call and ask about the Triumph, but y'all kind of already covered it. I just feel like from your past guests, y'all have kind of been a little hush-hush on the Triumph, and I was kind of wondering how good y'all really expected it to be. But I will sway my question since y'all already kind of covered it a little bit. Whenever you were first becoming a factory mechanic, going from just a guy working on normal bikes, production bikes that everyone would have, what was it like the first time that you actually interacted with a factory machine?
Well, do you count my stint at KTM as a factory mechanic the first time? Because it was a little underwhelming. It was the first year of KTM coming in as factory team, kind of like what Triumph's doing, although the bike was established already. Zacho, you remember those days.
Yeah.
So I would say my first real one was with Yamaha, and I was coming off of being a top privateer mechanic with Nick Way. And when I got to Yamaha, I was surprised at how much more work I was doing as a privateer mechanic, Cameron. I changed way too many parts as a privateer. Like the Yamaha guys are like, this piston is 8 hours. This linkage is 14 hours or whatever. And I was changing all this shit as a privateer, thinking that I was doing main bearings every 2 weeks. And Yamaha's like, why would you do that? These things can go, 8 hours on main bearings. So my first thought was, holy shit, I did too much work as a privateer mechanic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting to see that. And when I got to KTM though, I remember the quality control back then wasn't great. So we would have frames and swing arms, and we're building bikes, and they don't quite line up. There's gaps in the frame and the swing arms, and there's sometimes, Zacho, we had kickstand mounts on our frame. Sometimes we didn't. It was really weird, KTM early days. But thanks, Cameron. Thanks for the call, man.
I think the biggest thing that, from a factory team perspective is just like the little parts that people don't even see or think about, like races and, engine mounts, materials. You might have
aluminum shift drums. Aluminum shift drums were, really sweet and shaved down 3 speeds instead of 4 speeds.
Yeah, it's all the little stuff that people don't see.
Yeah.
Like, the things that you do see are the things that don't make the biggest difference.
Yeah, for sure. Gage is on 3. What's up, Gage? How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about Prado and just kind of give him props for stepping out of his bubble and giving a crack at Supercross. And I've been hearing some rumors and speculation with him pointed to possibly fulfilling a role at Cowie next year. And I just wanted to hear what you guys thought about that, if there's any truth to that. And then kind of a second part to the question, if that is true, just want to kind of bring the elephant out of the room. Where does that leave AC? Would he be looking for or would he be going to a satellite ride? I just personally don't see him doing that, but wanted to get you guys' thoughts.
So Prado to Cowie thing is real. Zacho, I'm sure you've heard it.
Yep.
That's real. I don't know if it's done. I think he's ridden the bike, and I think there's mutual interest on both sides to get him at Cowie. Zacho, is that all what you've heard?
Yep.
So I would maybe think that he could be there. Now, as far as Adam, man, Zacho, I don't know how tight you are with him or whatever, but I don't see him. If he can't get in a factory team, I don't see him riding. He's had issues.
I agree.
Yeah. If he's had issues.
I'm not super tight with him. We interact every now and then. But yeah, I don't see him going to,
no,
anything other than a factory team. But I don't write him off if he doesn't have a job at Cowie. Like I think that there's other teams that think that they can, fix whatever or do a better job or however you want to say it. And yeah, as for Prado, I think that from, there's a huge commitment on his side, his family's side. His dad is very involved with the program. I think I recently was told that his dad's missed one practice session in his whole life, his whole life, not just like his career, like actually one practice session. So, sure, it looks good on paper, come right to Factory Cowie, here's you $1 million or whatever, but also you need to buy a house, you need to have, 2 or 3 cars, you need to have a trainer, you need, all the things. It's a huge commitment. It's not, I'm sure they have a very settled, simple, easy life in Belgium and Spain. And I think that's why more guys don't try it. They get a little bit older than Jorge is, and they get not complacent, but maybe very comfortable racing GPs, making the money, doing the thing. But I do think he's young enough. I do think he bites it off and comes. The most interesting scenario seems at Cowie.
There you go, Gage. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. Do you want a pair of goggles?
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right.
Awesome.
I'm going to put you on hold.
Okay,
go ahead.
Can I ask one more question? Just with Zacho being kind of close to the Triumph front, what is the update on their 450? I heard they're a little bit behind the 8-ball, but just wanted to kind of see how they're progressing, if y'all knew with that.
I haven't heard anything, Zacho.
I don't know much about it. I heard like June or July they'll have some bikes or something. I really don't know much about it. I just work with Joey, and that's it.
Yeah. Thanks, Gage. We'll put you on hold, all right?
Cool.
You can get 100% goggles, or you can get the Fly Racing ones, whatever you want. All right, let's go to caller number 1. Cool, man. What's up, buddy? How are you? Do you want to talk about Tomac's boots?
Okay, so hello?
Tomac's boots?
Yes, Tomac has some type of reinforcement in his boots for his Achilles injury. I'm waiting for Kiefer or somebody to do a video and show us exactly what they have in there or what they built, so us regular folks can buy them. You know, I know people that had Achilles injuries; they'd probably be interested.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't heard this or seen this. I mean, it could be just a little brace made just for Eli and his Achilles, right? So, not something they're going to sell, you know. But I'll look into it. I'll look into it, man.
I don't know about that. I know that like some of the guys used to cut a bunch of the support off of them because they wear new boots so much that it softens them to where you can just wear them out of the box.
Yeah.
But I don't know about a stiffer setup or anything like that.
Nobody likes those, or not nobody. A lot of guys don't like those hinges, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right, Jason's on 4. What's up, Jason?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry about that. Hey, I was just curious, you know, I know that it's not necessarily like a thing, but you kind of mentioned that the Lawrences have like somewhat of a media ban on them where they're not doing a lot of interviews. And now that they're not dominating the 250 class and they're just kind of more like the regular guys, when do you think that they might open up a little bit and not have that anymore?
I don't know. It's a great question. Yeah, I haven't really tried to even interview them this year, right? Like they don't really want to do it. They don't like it. So why do I want to go and, you know, chase them down, right? So, I mean,
I heard ML got one after A2 with Hunter, but I mean that's just kind of, and even with Joe, I mean he talks a little bit, but it just doesn't seem like they do much over that way.
Yeah, listen, their agent Myrtle is a friend of mine. We've battled over this. They think it's not necessary to talk to the main media guys all the time. They don't want to do that. They want to move on. So, you know, when things go sideways, you know, the media just doesn't also care about it, right? So it's unfortunate, but that's the way they want to do it. It's fine. I think I'll have them on my show at some point. You know, hopefully I'll get granted an interview at some point, but I'm not going to chase it down if they don't want to do it, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So, all right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
702-586-7857. One man who did interviews was Zach Osborne. Almost always.
Yeah.
Almost always. All right, we got some more phone calls here. Also, I want to talk to Zacho. Faulkner. I'm going to break down TBDs more with Blair, but Mitch told me he's never seen Faulkner ride this good. Now, is that just like media bullshit? I don't know, because Peyton's not one of those guys to do that, right? But call me skeptical. He's missed a year. I don't know. Like, is there a world where Austin Faulkner wins his championship? Like, is the window not closed, Zacho?
I don't think the window's closed. It's definitely closing, I would say, but he's one of the title guys, in my opinion.
Oh, he is. Okay. Yeah. So you're out. You can see it happening.
Yeah, I don't. It takes a lot. I don't know that he can beat Deegan and Max and who's the star East guy other than Deegan?
Bennick. Well, Lopes is out this weekend. Yeah. McAdoo.
Yeah.
McAdoo.
I think he beat McAdoo. I think he's going to be a good version of Austin Faulkner. There's definitely been a lot of years now where he hasn't been the guy and weird injuries and stuff like that. But I think this could be the resurgence.
Okay. Yeah. What a story that would be, huh? That'd be pretty cool.
I'm pretty high on it. I can see it going well.
it almost be like some guy that was like a highly touted amateur failing in America, and then he goes to Europe and, you know, kind of rebuilds himself and then comes back to America and then wins championships?
Yeah, evidently I'd say I don't know a lot on the show, but I don't know that guy.
You don't know that guy? No?
No, I've never heard of him.
Slept in a tent one time in Russia?
Doesn't sound familiar. Doesn't ring a
bell. Zach Osborne here on the show. Thanks to the folks at Vertex, premier choice for aftermarket pistons, gaskets, and complete engine rebuild kits. AllBallsRacingGroup.com to learn more. They're a member of the All Balls Racing Group, a combination of the finest aftermarket power sports brands out there. These Vertex pistons are manufactured in Italy, and they're both cast and forged, while the gaskets are made in the USA. Zach Osborne here on the show. Okay, Hunter Lawrence, the gentleman brought him up. What's your take on Hunter? You were pretty stoked coming into the season. He's been kind of what I thought. Has it been a bit disappointing to you, Zacho, or where you been with Hunter's, 4 races? It's early, so one missed main event also in there.
I definitely expected more. Like I said in the first show, it's so easy to get the ball rolling in the wrong direction.
Either way, it's easy to get the ball rolling either way, right?
Yeah, either way. And I think that deal with Vince in the first turn at Anaheim kind of did that. I think he'll build. I think he's kind of a weed. He's going to grow wherever. He doesn't need perfect conditions. So to me, he's going to just keep getting better. Definitely underwhelming so far, but I'm not like giving up or anything.
All right, before we let you go, give me your winners this weekend. 250 East, 450 Supercross.
21.
Okay.
And
yeah.
What number partner? 64.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta learn them all this weekend again. So 4.
No, I'm gonna go. Oh. I'm gonna go 38. 21 and 38.
Okay. All right.
Just for the first weekend.
Yeah. You're not worried about the lack of time with the wrist?
Nah.
Really?
Nah.
Okay. That's a strong take, Zacho. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. Have fun with Savachi. All right.
Thank you.
See ya. That's Zach Osborne, everybody, here on the Fly Racing Moto 60 Show. FlyRacing.com. Check out their website. I just ordered some mountain bike stuff the other day, so that's coming as well. They got some really great mountain bike stuff, and, of course, all their dirt bike stuff. Fly Racing, FlyRacing.com. Thank you to those guys for coming on board. 100%. Pulp 30 is the code to save at 100%. We're giving away some 100% goggles. Which ones did he take?
He took the 100% goggles.
Okay, so we still have a set of Fly Racing Zone Pro goggles to give away. Please check them out. Pulp 30 saves you on everything at 100%. Whether it's downhill mountain biking, BMX, MotoGP, MLB, snowboarding, and, of course, motocross and supercross. Jet Lawrence running these goggles, Star Yamaha as well. Use the code PULP30 to save at 100%. Thank you to those guys. Let's answer some calls. Let's bring in our next guest first. Let's do that. Speaking of fly racing, this man's also a fly racing athlete. Daniel Blair, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Steven? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. I got a lot to talk to you about. I got 250 East kicking off. We got the lines are full. Let's go with this, though. I am interested in your take on this, and I'm sure you've addressed it on one of your shows, but pardon me, I didn't see it. The Jet Lawrence thing. Shocking. Shocking. He'll be fine. It'll all come around. But shocking, right, Blair?
Yeah, I mean, kind of shocking, but then not immediately. So I was actually in the bowl when he came out for opening ceremonies, and I was pretty anxious, like, what's it going to sound like? Like, Anaheim has a tendency to let people know when they don't like them. And they let him know, but, dude, I swear to you, man, right when everyone kind of started booing, I looked around, and half the people were laughing. Like, it wasn't even a real boo. It wasn't like, F you, you punk. It was more like, yeah, you need to hear this. And I think people were kind of just caught up in the moment, made it fun. I don't think people are as mad at him as you would think, and that's because he really hasn't done anything, I'd say, one individual thing that's super bad and dramatic. It's just a bunch of annoyance over the course of probably like 3 or 4 months now. People had it, and I think they just wanted to let him know, and I don't think it carries.
Well,
no one really hates him. It's just been irritating for a while, and I think people needed to let him know.
They did cheer when he crashed on the whoops, though, and that's jacked up. They cheered.
Yeah, but let's go back in time.
Okay.
Anaheim won, which was his very first heat race dude, they cheered when he fell in that heat race too, and that was before they were even really mad at him. And I think it's just, we all have already accepted the fact that he's a freak show and he's going to go on and do a lot of winning. And people don't want him to win right out of the bat. We want him to earn it. We want it to take some time, and we want him to have some bumps and bruises. And so at Anaheim 1, in his very first heat race, you have an entire fan base cheering on a two-time champ to beat a kid who's never done it. That's just premeditated. We're already over your winning, and you haven't won yet. So I don't think it's real. The cheering, even in the crashing, if he got hurt, no one's cheering. They cheered because he hopped up and was running around back to his bike. So I think it's less dramatic as they think, but it's also kind of fun, for being honest.
It is interesting for sure. Like, I mean, I think his camp is stressed. You know, I think they're stressed about this. They're over. In my opinion, they're overreacting a little bit. But
big time. No, they shouldn't be stressed.
No.
Jet should laugh it off and say something smart aleck and play along with it and be like, you all hate me, and that's fine. I hate me too, and so does my brother. And what they should just play with it and get over it, because again, he's not a villain who did something bad. He did a lot of little things that just irked, and people will get over that. And to be honest with you, every time he screws up and every time he falls and loses, it softens the whole thing up, because it really takes away the fear we all had, which was that he was going to go and smash everybody and make this boring. So
one podium in 4 races. Sure, a couple mutters, I get it, but one podium in 4 races, man. Yeah, you know,
perfect season.
My buddy Lissamore was taking photos, and he said that one fan whipped the T-shirt back at him that he was tossing out.
I mean, maybe that guy hates him. Okay, I didn't think anyone did, but maybe that guy did.
Right. Daniel Blair here on the Fly Race and Moto 60 show. Let's talk TBD East. Let's do mostly that. I did a little bit with Zach Osborne. If Hayden was coming in healthy and ready to go, he'd be my pick. I think this broken wrist, and don't ask me why. He said he missed a week of riding and sprained it. Don't ask me why. I give up with that camp and all the talk. I don't care. He broke his wrist. He's only been back for a couple weeks, so he might start slow. And Mitch told me Faulkner's riding better than ever. We got McAdoo. We got Hammaker. We got Vial. Daxton Bennick, a guy that you know well, is flying, I guess, riding really well. J-Mart. Max Anstey hype is out of hand. What say you? Who's the 3 or 4 guys you like?
It's Faulkner. It's Faulkner, Deegan, Anstey, and Vial for me, all for different reasons. Vial's going to whole shot everything. The whoops obviously are changing a little bit this year. At least that's the conversation, that they're not going to be as big and hairy, which means he's going to only be better if you kind of take that part of the track out for him a little bit. So he'll be good. Anstey, I'm buying in. Justin Brayton, I obviously respect.
Yeah.
No, I'm buying in that he's going to be one of them. Brayton told me he's winning it, dude, and I respect Brayton, but I don't know. I can't buy in that hard. And then for me, it's Faulkner and Deegan. That's my 1 and 2. If Deegan's healthy, all the way healthy, I think he wins indoor, outdoor SMX. I think he is the best overall 250 rider in the class. And I mean, to me, that's a simple one for me. But I'm with you. He's not 100%. They can say and do and treat this thing as weirdly as they want, but he's not 100%. And if we're being honest, he's never won a Supercross. He still has not even won one of these yet. He won SMX, whatever. He hasn't won one of these. So I can't just give it to him with the wrist and the history when he's going up against someone like Faulkner, who I believe has had some bad voodoo. I think a lot of his issues have come just weirdly. I don't think it's just been self-inflicted as much. And I just think he's due, man. You can't have that much weird stuff happen to you every single year. It's got to change someday. So, yeah, why not? I mean, he's one of the most dominant 250 riders we've seen in the last 10 years in a period of time, and he's healthy. Those bikes are good. And it's justice, man. So I actually have already made the claim. I did it on my show. I'm putting it out there. I'm going Faulkner for the title.
That would be a crazy story and a cool story.
Really good story. A justice story, man, because he is like, I mean, Steve, think back a couple years ago, dude, eating the pixie sticks. And, I mean, he was on top of the world a couple years ago. Fast forward, his childhood rival is a 450 Supercross champ, and he's been cross-jumped and taken out on starts and all this, like, it would really be a just story if he could get this thing, and I want it for him. I think he's a good kid, and I believe it. I think he's going to win it.
Yeah, look, I don't think Mitch Payton doesn't bullshit. I think when he says he's riding the best he's ever seen, I'll go with it. I don't think Mitch is one of these guys like, hey, I'm going to tell the media this. He's just going to call it like it is, you know. He told me McAdoo and Hammaker aren't quite where they need to be yet, coming off injury, you know. So he's not going to bullshit it, and he's super stoked. So
poor guy, he's unlocked the hips, so he's good to go.
Yeah, really, right? Is low key Hymas like a podium threat here? I don't know about race winner, but like I've been impressed with him. I thought they should have kept him rolling in Supercross. They pulled him out early, but factory Honda, like, or is this still learning year? Is this still learning for you?
Well, I think he's in the luxury that I think Ryder D is in, that Juju is in, that Dax Bennick is in, where what he needs to do for it to be a good season is not that much. He just needs to go out there and be solid and get his laps in. I mean, he's not in a contract year. It ain't back against the wall. So the floor for him is pretty low. He doesn't have to do anything too incredible for this to be a good season. But can he pull off some stuff? Yes. Like I think him and Bennick both. Like I think both of them could get a podium, win a heat race. Yeah. But they don't have to, and that's kind of the beauty of this season for them. Is hey guys, go take shots at this thing. But at the end of the day, don't get hurt. Do all your laps, and that will be a good season. We'll come around in 25, where the expectation will be higher. So he's in a really sweet spot, as is Dax Bennick, in my opinion.
Main event moto, Daniel Blair on the show. Are you going this weekend?
No, my next one, I believe, will be Daytona.
All right, okay. Let's get some phone calls here. Daniel Blair. We do have a direct question from Tyler to Daniel Blair. Go ahead, Tyler. What's your question for DB?
Yeah, Daniel. So I was just watching your show on YouTube a little minute ago, and I saw you said that SMX is going to be in Vegas. Can you talk any more about that?
What?
Can you hear me?
What happened?
He can hear you. He just doesn't want to. He just doesn't want to.
Oh, okay.
Why is this? Why is Daniel? You don't work for Feld anymore. You're fine.
I know. I didn't. Or I don't. So yeah, no, I did say it. And look, I'll be honest. I don't know if it's in Vegas. I heard it's in Vegas, and now that I can say whatever I want, I just threw it out there. So it could be wrong, and I'm sorry if I didn't need to do that. But to me, it was fun.
It's Vegas. So it'll be Charlotte, Dallas, Vegas, and Daniel will be a co-host of mine at the live show Friday night in Vegas here. So
that's right. Big one.
Breaking that
Big
news
one.
too.
So
Tyler.
yes, it's not official, but we're kind of
jacket offer. Dusty wants to talk about nicknames. Go ahead, Dusty.
Hey man, gotta say, you come up with some wild nicknames with some pro riders.
Okay.
And for being that kind of guy, I don't know of any nicknames for you, but I think I think King of the Supercross, Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah.
Showtime.
Yeah.
I think you need to be. There needs to be one for you, like.
I got nicknames. I don't hear them all the time. It's Tubby or Asshole or
No.
I got a lot of those.
No.
Yeah.
Like you're the podcast king, man. So like big time guy, that'll work.
Big time guy. I don't know.
Big time guy.
Hey, big time guy.
Big time. Big time.
Yeah, big time. I don't know, Daniel. We'll work on it, right, DB?
Yeah. Let's just get a pen and paper out and start jotting down some ideas. And I'm gonna say big time. Probably not gonna make the final cut, but I like where we're headed. No, it's good. It's just we can be better. We can be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll think of some too, but
all right.
I gotta say, Blue Crew guy here and representing Michigan Mafia, baby.
Nice. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. You want a pair of goggles?
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, just because you called me big time guy, you're going to win a pair of goggles. Stay on hold, all right?
Hell yeah, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Fly Racing Moto 60 Show with Daniel Blair and big time guy.
Big time guy.
That doesn't really roll off the tongue very well.
No.
Zool's Bags, thanks to Zool's for helping us out. Zool'sBagCo.com, Pulp24 code to save. These are great bags. They're teamed up with Triumph, so Triumph's making a debut. Triumph uses the Zool's bags, Pastrana, Carey Hart, Nyquist, and more. Ford Performance, of course. They've got you covered with backpacks, travel roller bags, gear bags, and more. Zool, Z-U-L-Z, BagCo.com. Pulp24 is the code to save, and Seat Concepts as well. They've got a seat for you, whether it's motocross or street bike stuff. They've got you covered. Each seat incorporates a proprietary foam formulation that is designed to provide unmatched support, impact dampening to the rider. They got a wide variety of seat options. Pulp MX24 is the code to save at seatconcepts.com. Thank you to those guys. Maxis, Get, Plum Creek Funding, Decal Works, all on board. That's 100% as well. Fly Racing, Daniel Blair. We have we have a ton of callers online. So I got more questions for you, Daniel, but let's get into the callers. Okay. They've been waiting. Lucio wants to talk pro circuit. Go ahead, Lucio.
What's going on, guys?
What up?
So my question to both of you is, and for once, I agree with Daniel and what Daniel said, but could this be the year that Mitch breaks the drought and wins a title? Faulkner's got to be, if not the main guy on the East Coast, but you got to think that whole team on that coast is just stacked out of all the teams that are there in that class this year. I mean, MC doesn't have a teammate, and, I mean, Faulkner's looking really good. I think this could be the year. And then one other question. Can you ask the Shimoda hater or realist about the hard cut? The Shimoda realist about the hard cut, if he's on the hard cut.
Okay, all right, I can ask that. Yeah, and by the way, a few people have said the Shimoda realist is Daniel Blair. It's not Daniel Blair. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I will say I don't disagree with the realist at all.
You're I am too. I'm in that line of thinking too, man.
No, I mean, I think I saw somewhere the other day they said that he won his first Supercross back in 2021 at Salt Lake City, and that's the only one he's won, I think, right? Is that right?
So. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, and I buy the hype every year because I think Joe is phenomenal, but for whatever reason, it's this or that.
Yeah.
But he kind of just ends up not being one of the guys by the end. And then he's good at the end of the season. He always goes on a run. But for some reason, it's just not all the way complete. So I'm not the realist, but I know who it is, and I agree with him.
Lucio, and I think if Hammaker and McAdoo were 100% ready to go, they had a little bit late start. I'd like almost both of those guys over Faulkner. I'm not as high on Faulkner as Zacho and DB here, just because it seems like shit happens to Austin, and it sucks. But now that those guys aren't 100%, Hayden Deegan's not 100%, like maybe DB and Zacho have a point
here. That's where I see him, and that's why I think that this could be the year that Mitch ends the drought and we win a title. Big pro circuit guy.
Okay. Thanks, Lucio.
Yeah, he said we. Hey, he said we.
Yeah, he did. He did say that. All right. Thanks, Lucio, for the call. Appreciate it. Kicker Bob has some question and rants for DB.
Daniel Blair, man, dude, your show, it's freaking cool. I'm a little perturbed though by the spinning logo down in the corner. It's kind of like the flashing lights for someone who has seizures. It's constantly getting your attention away from you.
Oh wow. Okay.
That is the first time I've heard that, and
no, it's not, because you replied to me in one of your chats.
Oh, then that would have been the first time I read it, but this is the first time I've heard it. But no, I don't remember seeing that. Was it me that responded, or was it Moto that
it
responded?
I do not know, because I don't know who runs which side of
Daniel's
it. There it is.
Yeah, Daniel's deep layered in. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, the second part
you want me to stop?
Was,
you want me to stop it from spinning?
I think it would be great, just because it pulls away from people watching you and watching what you're saying and how you're acting, and I think it should go away. It pulls people's eyes.
I'll pass it on to our HR department, and we'll see what happens from there. So I appreciate
that the same as no problem. Is that the same as Steve's HR department?
Who's yours, Steve? You?
Augie. No, it's Augie.
Oh no. My HR department is my wife.
Good. The second part of the rant is, why in the world you got to charge to listen to your show? I think, I think Steve just needs to kick in a little there and help you out, because, he helped Dark.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got Lewis, Kellen, Dark. I'm helping these guys out. Listen, DB's crushing it. He's it's a pay show, and it's something I've thought about doing. Yeah. I haven't pulled the trigger. Yeah.
I can tell you guys with full transparency why we did it, so everyone can understand, because I get a lot of heat from this. A lot of people are mad that we made the switch to Patreon, but the reason is the industry is only so big. The sponsorship model only goes so far. I have always, from the very beginning, never wanted to go after other podcast sponsors. It's always been whoever comes to us. I don't really go after sponsors. And it got to a point where it was kind of limited in our growth, and we couldn't do some of the things we wanted to do because financially there wasn't enough there. There's two of us. I have a partner. Producer Joe's my partner on this. So we did the math and came to the conclusion that a subscription model, yes, it would dent our numbers, but we would actually be able to make a little bit more so we can invest back into the show. And that's why we're doing the new YouTube show to kind of bridge back into the public. But our actual podcast is going to stay private because we've turned it into more of a community now. I mean, it's like a club more than even a podcast, and I don't see that changing. So we went to the other model that works, and it works for us.
I'm not trying to cut you down at all because you're smooth. I love your flow on things, and dude, if our president could speak as smoothly and awesome as you do, I think we'd be a better place. But yeah, you're good. You're real good.
Thanks, Kicker Bob.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, have a great day.
Thanks,
Enjoy
man.
your weekend.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go to Scott on one. Scott, what's up, man?
Hey, I just had a question about this weekend's schedule. So looking at the 250 LCQ kicking off at 4:32 p.m., and then you have the sight lap for the main starting at 4:48. So what's the challenges those guys are going to have?
Dude, I saw that myself. I put it on Twitter this morning. Like, yeah, good luck, guys. That's a tough deal for those guys. That's a tough turnaround. There's no way around it. I'll be interested to talk to some of the LCQ guys that make it into the main and ask them what it was like.
Have you ever seen the schedule before?
I've never seen that do that. No, I haven't. So
right,
it's a lot, man. Thanks, Scott. Good question. Yeah. Yeah, we got a whole new deal going.
You like that, Steve? I know it's going to be a little complicated there for the 250 guys, and for 4 of them. But do you like the idea of the 450s coming out, opening ceremonies, boom, boom, and then dropping a 450 gate? Like, I kind of like that.
Yeah, I've always said it. I've always said that. Why do you introduce the stars of the sport and everybody that's there to see, and then they go away for 20 minutes? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I know it looks challenging, but in reality, you come out and you hit it hard. You big bang right off the top with the 450 heat races, and you end with the 450 main. It's a pretty nice sandwich of a format, I guess, even for like fan interest. Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to see the best guys right off the bat and just kind of like wake the night up, So I hope it works. I like it.
Plum Creek Funding, if you got a vacation home like Daniel Blair, if you already own a home, if you're looking to pull money out, contact plumcreekfunding.com. Zach, Z-A-C-H, at plumcreekfunding.com, 720-212-4685. If you're looking to purchase a home, the rates have dropped a little bit. If you're looking to get a secondary or third, on Tits' case, a third home, please go to Zach at plumcreekfunding.com and help him out. Thank you, Zach. All right, some more calls for DB here. We have Randy on 2. What's up, Randy?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Quick question. Well, actually, it's like 2 questions, but what are your thoughts on adding more factory teams? Now we got Beta coming in, or Beta's here, and Ducati and Triumph, and they're always talking about growing the sport. Do we get to the point where we become like F1, where the only way to be on the gate is to be on a factory team?
Well, it's almost that way now, right? You look at the Ducati coming in and everything else. It's pretty gnarly. I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of a factory team. But yeah, the 450 class is close to that, right? I like it. I think it's good. I mean, why not? It will. Maybe we're going to come to a point like when Triumph's 450 comes out, Ducati's here in 26 racing. Maybe we're coming to a point where just like factory guys don't make mains.
Right, but
Yeah.
do you ever get to the point of where privateer guys can't just show up and, bring a CRF and line up on the gate?
No, why not? They can always welcome to do that, right? Like, you're saying like Feld, down
the road.
Oh,
right?
I see.
Yeah.
I think if Feld could make any rule change they want in the world, they would absolutely cut the series down to like 30 guys or something. Daniel, do you believe me? Privateers are nothing but headaches, man. They're nothing but headaches. It costs them money. It's everything. It's the fact that it's the AMA, it's a racing series, that they're there. But go ahead, Daniel.
I agree. Out of convenience for the running of the show, it would be easier if there was less, but it would absolutely kill the sport in so many ways if they ever did that, because that kills the dream for so many people that have a dream to be there. And a lot of kids growing up live in a somewhat of reality, and they know they're not going to be the next Dungey. They know that maybe getting a factory ride someday is, the odds aren't there, but they still get a chance to go out and do it. And for a lot of people, that's the dream. And if they got rid of that to where you could only get in through being a factory rider, it would trickle down all the way to the bottom of the sport, and it would ruin it because there would be a whole chunk of people that would lose the dream knowing that, man, I'll never have a chance now. And I don't think that's right. So I understand the positives, mainly in like the logistics of operating, but I think it would destroy the sport like as much as anything else could, to be honest.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks for the call, man. Good points for sure. 4 is Nick. Nick, you got a question for Daniel Blair?
I got to call him, Doctor.
Nick?
Not really a question. I'm just kind of bummed. I was old Daniel Blair fan and his brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was DMing Daniel Blair, and he helped me win a bet and all this stuff. And I just want to know, I'm bummed. Was I talking to Daniel Blair, or who was I talking to?
My 10-year-old daughter runs my Instagram, so it's my daughter, Elena. No, I'm just kidding. It's me. It's me on my personal account. I don't run the Main Event Moto Instagram. So if it's me for sure.
Okay, it was about you and your brother's jerseys, if they were black.
Yeah, but was it on Main Event Moto, or was it on Daniel's own account?
I think Daniel's own account.
Well, then it was him.
It was me.
And he had a cool conversation with me. Like, everything I asked him, he answered.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Well, that's awesome. Good job, Blair.
So that's Daniel, right?
That's Daniel. That's what he said 3 times.
That was me.
For the third time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right,
that's
thanks,
all I
Nick.
wanted to know.
Thank you. Man, do you answer all your DMs, DB?
I have at the laziest, I give a double tap and a heart or a thumbs up if I saw a comment, whatever. But for the most part, yeah, I respond to almost every single one I've ever gotten. And please don't let that be an invite. Like, don't everyone just start dropping in their heart. Like, I'm busy, but I try to. I sit at airports a lot, so I do. But it is hard. But at a minimum, I give the double tap. I always heart.
Oh, you do?
Always.
Oh, maybe see.
Everybody.
I don't, and then you get the guys being like, "What? No response?" And I'm like, fuck, here we go." Like, yeah. And then, honestly, I probably get to maybe half of mine.
Dude, I'm pretty committed.
Good job.
I answer them all.
Okay, good job on that. Sam wants to guess the Schmoda realist, but Sam, I'm not telling you who the Schmoda realist is. Like, I'm not going to confirm or deny.
That's fine. I've looked over evidence.
Okay.
I have strong belief that it is our buddy Paul Perebino.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah.
I've noticed before in the past him kind of not talk down on Shimoda, but talk down a little bit. He hasn't been on the fantasy pod lately.
Mm-hmm.
I have every suspicion to believe the way he was talking on the show.
Okay.
You heard it here first. Paul Perebino.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for playing along. I will not confirm or deny it. I've had JT. I've had Daniel Blair. People have said it's Michael Lindsay. People have said it's Lewis. So I've got everything under the sun.
All right.
Thanks, Sam.
All right.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. It's not Daniel Blair. Confirm that right now. Look, Matthew on 1 says, would it be a bad idea for Hunter to drop down to 250 East for Michigan round? I'm not even going to answer that call. I am not. Matthew, thanks for calling. Thank you for listening. I am not picking your call up.
No.
We're not getting
He's fine. He'll be fine. Just let him get in there, man. He's fine.
4 races in. Panic button. All right, Daniel. I want to ask you a couple of hard questions here. Rapid fire.
Okay.
Hampshire, Jordan, Kitch. Who you got for that title?
Oh, man, I will say with full transparency, I want RJ. I obviously am around that team. I'm around Nate Dogg. God, I want RJ to win that so bad. I love RJ, but Levi Kitchen scares me, man. And if Jordan and RJ, you better figure it out here quick, because I think Kitchen's about to go on a run and start stringing together a couple. So I want RJ, but I'm leaning Levi as the sneaky pick here.
Who was your preseason pick for 450 title, and who you got now after 4 races?
I actually did pick Chase Sexton, and I know you're going to say,
no, I did too.
But I did too. Okay, I did too. And the reason why is because I feel like the little bit of speed he might give up on the KTM, because the Honda makes you do certain things that are pretty wild. It's also what kind of, I think, bites him a lot. So I feel like with the KTM, he might be a little less edge speed, but way more stability. And I think the class is so deep and wild that stability is going to pay off. So I still feel Chase, but he can't do what he did in race 2 at the Triple Crown anymore. You can't do anything like that. You got to stick these things. So I will stick with him, but man, I think it's going to be wild. deep into this thing.
Okay, fair enough. And then give me your winners for Detroit, both classes.
Detroit, let's go Jason Anderson.
Oh, that's what Zacho picked.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, he was good there a couple of years ago, and he's just feisty right now, and I feel like he's just can tie it together. And then 250s, Faulkner. Faulkner's going to hole shot and smash him. That's my prediction.
Okay, you're right alongside Zach Osborne. So, all right, buddy.
What do you got? Who'd you pick?
I didn't pick. I'm just host the show.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Main event Moto, and of course the Orange Brigade as well. Daniel Blair, we'll get him in studio here for a pulp show at some point, of course, as well. So, yeah, Daniel, thanks for the time. I really appreciate it. Fly Racing, Moto City Show. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, that's Daniel Blair. Earlier, Zach Osborne. Thank you to Get, Maxis, Decal Works, Plum Creek Funding, Seat Concept, Zools, Vertex, 100%, all on board with us. Tis, great job. Great job doing both jobs.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And you know what? Mark said that you're way too dumb. You'll never figure it out. But I had your back.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
That's nice of you.
Yep. I had your back, Marks.
Okay.
Absolutely did not.
Suck it, Marks.
Yep. Suck it, Marks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys all next week.